That's AKA Toka too. You know I had to drop a track for my boy.
Where you at?
Yeah, tapping in your raps and boys out here telling favors. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting them fights on the table. Calling that boxing since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. On the P was champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka too. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the peak. Little Glock by my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out Magic, that real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandal. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.
Salute. This is Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and More, and I'm here to celebrate the 73rd birthday of a boxer that I used to admire back in the 80s. Probably one of the greatest boxers in the 80s, the greatest heavyweight boxers in the 80s. If you look back on his career, Mike Hercules Weaver. Shout out to my brother Skywalker in here, my brother Demetrius Bright, man. I hope a couple of people come and listen to this because, you know, Mike Weaver deserves this, man. I hope that music's not too loud I have in the background. I can cut it down a bit, I believe. Yeah, we just keep it bopping in the background there, like we always do. Get the head in the right position. And this isn't going to be that long, but maybe a little bit. I'm going to show a few of his fights, man, because I have my brother Vintage Boxing and Nick M's Classic Boxing channel, man. Two great YouTubers out there, and they told me that I can show some of their fights, and show them we will. Mike Hercules Weaver. A reluctant boxer, man. He was a heavyweight champ for only a couple of years. He didn't make too many. He only made one successful defense against James Quick Tillis. But I digress, man. Let me get back to the beginning. Mike Weaver was a Marine. He served during the Vietnam War. In fact, he was in Vietnam. It's in the Marines where he started boxing. He was in the rec hall, the NCO club, or you know, at a bar on the base, and he went up to the jukebox and he put his money in. He's looking around to see what he wants to play. And this dude comes up and pushes him away, says, "Oh man, I got this jukebox." Anyway, he knocks the guy out. Another Marine, he knocks the guy out. And you know, he thought nothing of it, but then he got called into his lieutenant's office, and he found out that the guy that he knocked out was the Marine, the boxing champ of the Marine Corps, the heavyweight boxing champ. So Mike Weaver was thrust in that position. He was put on the Marine boxing team. And this is where we got his start in boxing. He didn't have much of an amateur career. He didn't even take the sport seriously. You know, he started off as a journeyman, basically. He started his career back in 1972, I believe. And he lost his first two fights, man. He lost his first two fights to the same guy. guy's name was Howard Smith. In fact, there were when I was a youngster getting into boxing, there were 4 West Coast heavyweights, and you didn't see these guys on television a lot. You read about them in the magazines. And there was Mike Weaver, there was Howard Smith, there was Stan Ward, and there was Leroy Jones. And Leroy Jones was the best out of the lot. But Mike Weaver was a real trial horse, and he was poorly managed early in his career, and he was used as a sparring partner by Muhammad Ali and Ken Norton. And it was Ken Norton who gave him the nickname Hercules because he was stacked. I mean, this guy never lifted a weight, never took anabolic steroids. He was just gifted. And as a matter of fact, he has 3 brothers who were also boxers. They were called the Weaver triplets. They were triplets, and they were Floyd, Lloyd, and Troy. And if you look at his 3 brothers, they're all jacked, just like him, man. They look like they could jump on stage in a Mr. Universe contest. But these are the Fighting Weaver brothers. And like I said, he was poorly matched. He lost his first 2 fights. His first fight, he got knocked out by Howard Smith, one of the West Coast cats I was telling you about that we read in the magazine. They were fringe contenders. We never really got to see them. But as boxing evolved more, television fights evolved, we got to see Mike Weaver and these other West Coast heavyweights. But like I said, he was matched. He was thrown in the deep end early in his career. He got beat by both Bobicks, Rodney Bobick and Dwayne Bobick. I think Dwayne knocked him out, and Rodney lost the decision. And he was also beaten by fighters like Stan Ward again, the West Coast fighter I was talking about. He was beaten by Leroy Jones. But then, he stuck with it. And, I listened to Mike Weaver in one of his interviews. And he said when he started, he was not taking it seriously until Ken Norton said, "Mike, you could be something in this game." So he said he started jogging, he started running. He made it about a quarter of a mile, threw up everything he had in him, walked back home. He shook his head, but he had that in his head where Ken Norton, world champion, says you can be something. So he got that nose back to the grindstone. He had a victory over Bernardo Mercado, the Colombian, man, very very well celebrated heavyweight at the time. This thrust him into the limelight, and once again he took on Stan Ward, and this time he beat Stan Ward in a rematch. So he's fought Stan Ward two or three times. He fought Leroy Jones. He fought they kind of weeded out the West Coasters, and then he was thrown into a title fight with Larry Holmes. And I remember this card, man. This card was held at Madison Square Garden, and on the undercard it was Roberto Duran's first foray into the welterweights, and he took on Carlos Palomino, who Roberto Duran beat. He would go on to fight Sugar Ray Leonard immediately after this. But like I said, he went in there against Larry Holmes, and nobody gave him a shot. His record was 19 wins and 8 losses, and he's fighting the heavyweight champion of the world. When you think about that, that's a Rocky Balboa record right there. 19 wins and 8 losses, and you're fighting 30-0 Larry Holmes. Let me bring that up too, man. Let me see if I can find it. My good friend Vintage Boxing, he allowed me to show these, and I think there's some highlights in here, man. Let me go through my notes here, he's got some classic fights. Yeah, here's Larry Holmes highlights with Mike Weaver. Let's bring this up, man. Let's check out some of this classic fight. We can see Weaver's brought in there as an opponent. Larry Holmes just won the title. Larry needed some victories under his belt, And Weaver, just because he was the best out of the West Coast fighters, they brought him in there. And he gave Larry hell, man. I mean, nobody expected anything from Mike Weaver, and he was pushing Larry back. He's hitting Larry with body shots. Larry did not expect it. Let's watch some of these highlights, man. You can see Larry's this is a prime Larry Holmes. Larry's not even 30 years old. And, Mike Weaver, you can see the physique on the guy. He's got shoulders like coconuts. He's got the ripped abs, muscular back. I mean, they called the dude Hercules. What are you talking on tonight, man? Is that a question for me? I'm talking on. I'm honoring Mike Hercules Weaver. Showing some of his great career, because man, he had an action-packed career. There's my brother Paul Driscoll from Facebook on here. Salute, Paul. And Paul put up some pictures of the statue of Marvin Hagler unveiled today in Brockton. I want to take a ride to Brockton and check that out, man. Karma Serene broke it on Facebook. Paul, it must have been there because he got some great pictures, man. He's posted them on Facebook. And the Bud Files, my bro. Salute, man. Salute. Oh, my strain. Ah, my brother. I went into my sherbet jar that I have over here. It's kind of like at the end of the night when I get some buds on there, I throw them in this little jar, and I got I think I'm smoking on some. Pink Runts right now. All I know is it's top shelf, and it's a variety. And yeah, man, this was some great boxing in the day. And like I said earlier, man, this is Larry. I think Larry's debut in Madison Square Garden. You can correct me if I'm not sure on that, but Mike Weaver brought in as an opponent. 19 wins and 8 losses, fighting for a heavyweight championship of the world. Nobody gave him a chance. The networks wouldn't even show this fight. ABC didn't want to touch it. Even with Roberto Duran on the undercard, they were figuring it would be a prime ABC, a primetime ABC show, Wide World of Sports, but they didn't want to touch it. So this went pay-per-view. I didn't see it live. I didn't. I don't know why, but I didn't. And it turned out to be a fantastic fight. It introduced the boxing world to Mike Weaver. I mean, if you look at him coming in, bobbing, weaving Weaver, and he had one of the most tremendous left hooks in the division at the time too. I mean, this left hook. Yeah, I'm going to show you what he did to in his next heavyweight championship, his next chance at the title. Or was it his third chance? Because he also went to South Africa. He fought in a tournament. So we're gonna go through his career. A lot of it escapes me when I think about it. But this fight certainly does not, man. This was a prime Larry Holmes just coming into his own. Maybe not even a prime Larry Holmes yet. Richie Giacchetti in his corner. And yeah, Larry is coming off his victory over Ken Norton. And he did not, look at you can see Larry's got those elbows down low. Larry knows what's to come, man. He's already felt the power of Weaver. Weaver's the kind of guy, he hits you in the hips, he hits you in the ribs, he hits you in the elbows. Weaver's coming forward, man. Mike Weaver came of age in this fight. You can see Weaver toe-to-toe with Larry. That left hook, man, that left hook popping in from Mike Weaver. But Larry was not taking any prisoners tonight, man. You're going to see Larry with that tremendous uppercut that he's known for. Larry's trying to measure him. See Larry trying to sneak that right uppercut in there? Once again, he tries to shoot it in there, but Weaver's just moving forward. Weaver's throwing hooks and uppercuts, and Weaver's got a nice right hand himself, man. But Larry's but see, Weaver just did not have the conditioning. You know, Weaver had a tough time. I think this was scheduled 15 rounds too. This is back in the day, where these guys, man, 15 rounds. Can you imagine putting out for 15 rounds? I mean, they cry about going 12 rounds today. But when Mike Weaver is going toe-to-toe with Larry Holmes, nobody expected this. Everybody thought Weaver would be gassed out early, thought Larry would be too much for him. But man, Weaver surprised a lot of people. You can see the ring, man, Madison Square Garden, the hollowed halls. And Weaver's trainer was Don Emanuel. Weaver had a nice jab too. See, Weaver in Weaver's next bout, he fought Scott Ledoux, the perennial contender. But see, look at Weaver, body shots. Larry's shaking his head, but Weaver's determined. Weaver's getting in there with his jab, really shaking up Larry. Very impressive stuff by Mike Weaver, but Larry's trying to figure him out, set a trap, and Larry's the legend. But see, Weaver is trying to go in there and score a big shot, and he scored many of them in this fight. Larry did not, even when Mike Weaver eventually won a world title, Larry could afford him to become undisputed. Larry didn't care about the belt. Larry cared about the belts, but he cared more about fighting Mike Weaver in a rematch, because Weaver now had confidence. Weaver had reputable opponents under his belt. See, Weaver just hurt Larry Holmes. Look at him rush in there. Look at that, man. Larry's in a little bit of trouble. Larry on the back foot, fighting out at the end of the round, man. Ace, salute. Wicked cool stuff, man. On the 73rd birthday of Hercules Mike Weaver. Watch his right hand. Bang! Hit him solid. Almost knocked his mouthpiece out. I mean, the fans this was insane. Oh man, I mean, look at Weaver. Weaver's smelling blood now. But man, Larry is tough as they come. One thing about Larry Holmes, the harder you hit Larry Holmes, the more you back Larry Holmes up, the harder he's going to come forward. And Larry's got that sneaky right uppercut, man. Weaver bouncing those big bombs off the shoulders, off the gloves of Larry Holmes, occasionally landing with a good solid shot. Larry, one of his rare body shots. But I mean, he was not expecting this kind of a Mike Weaver in this fight tonight. And man, Mike Weaver is he made a name for himself tonight. He assured himself bigger paydays. He opened a lot of eyes in this fight. Almost closed a couple of eyes in this fight. But you can see, man, Larry knows that right uppercut is an opening for it. But Weaver, great one too. Man, what a slugfest this turned out to be, huh? Larry just got off fighting Ken Norton in a fight just like this, and Norton must have given Weaver some instructions, the way to beat him, go rock him, sock him, robot with him. Oh, there's that left hook of Mike Weaver. snaps that bad boy off. And you got Larry backed up to the ropes now. Larry felt those punches, man. Look at Larry. Larry's in the corner. Weaver looking down there, looking for something else to come up. And Larry he's just that right uppercut. It's almost like it must be thrown. And Larry's trying to, and Weaver once again with a beautiful overhand right. But Larry with that uppercut. Oh, that right uppercut. Catches him just like Larry had planned. And man, beautiful shot. And that was pretty much it for Mike Weaver in this fight. I mean, he even in defeat, he proved himself. And that was the end of the round. I guess the fight is going to continue. I thought that might have been the end of it, but Larry is just going to pretty much pick him apart in this round. We'll watch it. We'll see. You know, some fighters wouldn't come out after a knockdown like that. It almost reminds you of the Tyson Fury, the right uppercut that he nailed Dillian White with. You watch this right uppercut. Lines up, bang. Hey, Ghost, what's happening, brother? Anyway, one more round to go, man. Mike Weaver is going to come out for the next round. He's never been in a situation like this before. And I don't know what he's doing on his birthday, man. I heard him do an interview about 3 years ago on a show. I could understand him, but not all that well, man. But I'll tell you, man, he put on some great shows. See, Larry smells blood. Larry's going for the kill. Boom, the uppercut, the left hook, the jab. I mean, Larry's got everything going for him now. He knows Weaver hasn't recovered from that knockdown yet. He's just unloading him now. It's only going to be a matter. I think it's Valdemar Schmidt, the referee. I think he's just going to come in and stop this slaughter. And once again, Larry's in the groove. Larry's a good finisher. And like I stated earlier, Weaver was just not in any condition to go with Larry anymore. Put on a great show. He doesn't like the fact that he was beaten, but he will live to fight another day. He will definitely live to fight another day, and live to fight another day. He did. Mike Weaver had a great comeback after this, man. People recognize him for what he is. He took on another West Coast fighter, Harry Terrell. He knocked Harry Terrell out in the 4th round. And then he was on a nationally televised CBS Sports Spectacular fight. Hey, my brother BVO, salute, my man, salute. And this was with the perennial contender, Scott Ledoux. Scott Ledoux fought everybody out there, man. He usually got beat by them, but he's got a draw with Ken Norton. He's had some good victories. He fought Larry Holmes. He was a sparring partner for Ali. I mean, he was in the original USA championships when he knocked off. He got beat, and they found out that the ratings were fixed. The Fed stepped in. The tournament got canceled. But Scott Ledoux was forever remembered for the guy who knocked off Howard Cosell's toupee during the interview. But anyway, he went on to beat Howard Cosell, and that was for the IBF USBA title. And the USBA at the time was a big title. You had the USBA title, that pretty much assured you of a world championship belt. See, there were only, back then, there was no IBF at the time. It was WBA, WBC. And if you had an NABF title or a USBA title, you were getting a title shot. So he went in against Scott Ledoux. People thought Scott Ledoux was going to win this fight. Scott was coming off Scott was pretty hot at the time. I think Ledoux might have been coming off the Norton draw. But anyway, Mike Weaver turned boxer in this fight. They thought it was going to be slugger versus slugger, but Mike Weaver boxed him. Won a convincing 12-round unanimous decision, almost a shutout, and it was once again, Mike Weaver's on the scene. After Scott Ledoux, one of the biggest upsets of all time, man. This was one of my favorite fights, and once again, we're gonna have to go get into this one. And thanks again to my good friend Vintage Boxing for bringing this one up for me, man. We put it on the Trinitron here, the big screen, so we can catch this. Because this was an amazing night too. On this night there were 4 heavyweight fights. I'm sorry, 4 championship fights, not all heavyweight fights. But this was John Tate, newly crowned WBA heavyweight champ. He won the tournament, and now he's taking on #1 ranked contender Mike Weaver. This was a card put on by Don King. It was free on live TV, no cable, ABC, Channel 12, Channel 6, whatever it was on. But it was on a Monday night. Mizrak, salute my brother. Good to see you in here, my man. 21-9, and he's gone for the heavyweight championship of the world, his second attempt. And he's got confidence under him now. He went 12 rounds with, even though he got knocked out, he went 12 rounds with Larry Holmes, thinking that he got ripped off, thinking that he could have went on and finished the fight, but comes back, he beat Scott Ledoux convincingly, and now he's on this card. And this card started off, Sugar Ray Leonard had his first title defense of his welterweight title against Davey Boy Green. Marvin Johnson defended his title against Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. In fact, he lost his title to Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. Larry Holmes was on the card against Leroy Jones, who Larry Holmes boxed Leroy Jones to a real easy decision. But this fight was the highlight of the card. And I'm going to move on to it a little bit, man. We're going to go into the 13th round because John Tate was just picking apart Mike Weaver. Mike Weaver never say die, always shooting those body shots, always keeping John Tate aware that he was in a fight. But Tate was cruising to a unanimous decision. And I remember watching this fight and see Weaver with that left hook. You got to watch that left hook. John Tate came out of the Olympics. He was a bronze gold medalist. He got knocked out by Teofilo Stevenson. And he had a pro career. People were comparing him to Ali. As a matter of fact, if he had won this fight, they were going to have a fight with Ali. That was going to be Muhammad Ali's last fight. Ali was going to win the WBA title, supposedly, and blah, 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 blah. But, yeah, Jones beat Weaver too, man. Mike Weaver did not have the best record. Let's face it. But John Tate's carving him up like a Thanksgiving turkey on here. I was watching this fight that night, and I'm like, come on, man, come on, Tate, finish him off. Mike Weaver did not look like he was doing anything in this fight. But keep your eyes open, man. Hey, Marzek, I'm glad I can remember it, brother. And, that makes me feel good about doing it, man. When people come in here and listen to it and digging on it, that makes me want to do it. And I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Weaver's biting down on a bullet. Weaver's not giving up. Weaver's been hurting him. Weaver's been banging him with low blows to the hips, slowing him down. And Weaver's abiding his time. And like I said, man, Weaver was famous for running out of gas, but now Weaver's with a whole new team. He's got his conditioning down. He's got his diet down. He's a 100% boxer. He's getting the big money now. And here we go, man. You watch. See, look at Weaver with the right hand. John Tate saying, what's going on here, man? And they're in John Tate's hometown. This is a fight that had 4 titles. The card had 4 title fights on it from 4 different arenas. And this was John Tate's homecoming. We're in Nashville, Tennessee, sold-out arena. And Mike Weaver once again brought in as a sacrificial lamb. But nope, he doesn't want to be that role tonight, man. And that's the end of the 13th round. Keep your eyes open, man. See, like I said earlier, John Tate, they had big things planned for John Tate. live from Knoxville, Tennessee. And Mike Weaver's he's got John Tate in the 14th round. You know, I'm sitting here, I thought it was just going to be a decision, but you watch this ending, man. This is an ending where this clip was used in so many different change the faces. You want to talk about a face plant? Keep your eyes open, my friends. Keep your eyes open. This was so interesting. And once again, man, vintage boxing. Thank you so much for allowing this. Yeah, we're gonna get into that 15th round, man. You know, and it was only seconds to go in the fight. But here we are in the 14th round. It definitely deserves watching, Paul, man. This brings me back. When I watch things like this, man, I almost fall back 40 years. And Weaver, you can see the back development. So, you know, I was a bodybuilder. I was a trainer, a physique advisor. So I can tell the development in the back of Weaver's. The back, you see Weaver won for a low blow, getting a warning. Oh, you know, he lost a point. So Weaver loses a point for a low blow. He's really behind, man. Weaver's in fucking trouble in this fight. And this was, talk about a storybook, come from behind ending. Check this out. See, John Tate's very much aware. John Tate wants to shine before his hometown. But see, Weaver is in a different zone now. And like I was saying, man, you can see his more muscle definition. His back muscles are ripped. You know, he's training like a boxer should be training. And Weaver's shooting that left hand. Unbelievable power in that left hand. And they traded in this round. But see, Weaver, boom, left-right combination. John Tate holds on. And throughout the fight, Weaver was landing those shots to the hips, really immobilizing the movement of John Tate, keeping him off his toes. John Tate trying to go downstairs, but Weaver rips him with a combination down there, and Weaver's trying to land that big right hand. So Tate's going to be on the lookout for the right hand. But I mean, the scoring of this fight, let me see if I can go back and look at the scoring here. We're getting ready for the 15th round. John Tate was ahead on Ernesto Magana's scorecard, 138 to 133. Now Cisco Drake's scorecard, he was ahead 137 to 134 and 133 to 136 on Cesar Ramos' scorecard. So, I mean, they had it a little closer than it looked on the tube, and that's because Weaver was landing those body shots. And Weaver, like it says, never gone 15 in his pro career. Tate's done it. And here we go, man. This was the round of the year. I mean, this was just an amazing round. You don't want to take your eyes off off this round. Referee breaking him up. All John Tate has to do is survive, and he retains his title. He got a lucrative payday with possibly Muhammad Ali. He's in the driver's seat. A unification with Larry Holmes. But Mike Weaver wants otherwise. Mike Weaver's been in this game for 10 years. He's got a mediocre record. He's been in with Larry Holmes. He took Larry's best shots, and he wants to prove it again. He wants to prove himself. This is his second shot, second chance. Cena, salute my sister. Referee is breaking them up. And see, these guys, by today's standards of heavyweights, they're not that big. 220s, I think Weaver was at 212. Tate was at 232. They weren't the hugest heavyweights, but see, this is where the action gets heavy over here. Mike Weaver knows that time is ticking, and his corner's cheering him on. He just wants to land that one bomb. The punch that almost put away Larry Holmes. His coup de grace. And it's coming up. Don't take your eyes off this one. This one was two. Oh, there it was. Oh, face planted. Look at John Tate. When you go down like that, you don't get up. You put a pillow under his head. And watch Weaver. He just goes down. He just cannot believe it. Weaver's on his back, laying down. He cannot believe it, huh? We're gonna definitely. I think they'll play this again. Yeah, they'll play this again before they'll probably show it to us in slow motion. But this was this was basically the end of the career of John Tate. His career went nowhere after this. He was knocked out by Trevor Berbick. But man, this night on live primetime TV, Mike Weaver, he just became the hero that night. He stole the show. The replay of this was shown on news stations. No, there was no count needed. And John Tate's still on the ground. One punch, man. One punch knockout. We're gonna see that again too. Here we go. Check this out. Goes downstairs with the right hand. Watch that left. Boom! Oh my goodness. That, my friends, is a one-punch knockout. A left hook on the jaw. Good night. One more angle. The right hand. Bang! The left hook. The couple of follow-ups weren't even necessary. Too much, but this was Mike Weaver's finest moment. He went on after this. He defended his title once against James Quick Tillis, and that was on a Marvin Hagler undercard. In fact, I think that was the main event. Hagler fought Mustafa Hamsho in Chicago, and Weaver and Tillis was on the undercard, and I can't remember which was the main event. I don't even think it matters. But it was great stuff, and now Mike Weaver's the champ. Mike Weaver's the heavyweight champ of the world. He's got a defense under his belt, and he goes on. Don King's got a card set up, and he's got. Let me see if I can even find who was on this card, because this was another one of the great Don King cards. Let's see. No, we don't. I just want to see who was on the undercard in this fight. I want to see if I can pull that up because this was I think Tim Witherspoon was on the undercard. This was the main event. But anyway, man, we're gonna bring this fight up. Do you know the last fight? Do you know what year the last fight was in? Mike Weaver's last fight. See, Mike Weaver, he went on to rematch Larry Holmes 20 years later. So yeah, man, Mike Weaver had an extensively long career, but this fight here, man, this was a people were calling fix on this fight. This was a low point in boxing, if I recall. Let me bring this one up here, man. This was on white. Bring it up on the screen. And this was his defense against Michael Dokes. Michael Dokes was Don King's favorite heavyweight fighter. This was before Mike Tyson was on the scene. And look how this fight begins, man. This was one of the referee Joey Curtis. Now, Dokes comes out there and Dokes hurts Weaver early in the fight. Okay, I think he might have even knocked him down. But Weaver's a notorious late starter. Boom, see, he hurts him with that left hook. Dokes knocks Weaver down. Weaver's got amazingly fast hands. But watch how this referee comes in and stops this fight. This is he gives him the count. Weaver comes in. Weaver's blazing with both hands. And see, he's blocking most of those shots. And Weaver's throwing back. Now watch Joey Curtis. The referee, Joey Curtis. This is the first round of the fight. He lands a right hand. Weaver's got his hands up. He's blocking the punches. Dokes has landed a few shots, but I mean, boom, and look at this, man. That's it. The fight, unbelievable. Unbelievable. That was one of the most bullshit stoppages I had ever seen. I remember screaming at the TV that night. This was like, what? Does Don King have the fix in? I mean, that was a low point in boxing that night. It was, people were screaming. If this was the day of YouTube, they'd be going nuts on this. They'd be going crazy on this fight. You know, Mike Weaver loses his title. Just unbelievable. And look at his corner screaming fix. You know, Weaver doesn't know what to say. He's just shaking his head. He loses his title. First round stoppage. Bullshit stoppage. They're gonna show this again. See, there was chaos in the ring. You know, almost a mini riot going on. Don King in the ring, man. Dokes' camp is trying to go after Weaver's camp. I mean, this was crazy stuff. You can see Caesar's Palace. They got they're in the parking lot there. Let me listen to this.
We pick up the replay now, 17 seconds into the first round. You have the champion in the red trunks and Dokes the challenger in the white trunks. The right hand missed, the left hook. That hurt Mike Weaver, no question about it. He immediately started to cover. The second left hook knocked him down. Now watch how Weaver gets up as Dokes retreats to the neutral corner. He walks into his corner. He turns around. Joey Curtis, the referee, counting, looks at him. Weaver nods his head, says he's all right, and comes back out. Now Dokes comes to the attack. Most of that is being blocked by the arms of Weaver. There's the body, right at the belt line. Weaver retaliating with the left that missed. Dokes comes back with the left to the head. Now he pounds away. But how effective of those blows going in against his head, some of them picked off by the arms of Weaver. The referee Curtis is right there. Dokes measures him, scores with a hard right hand over the top. That one caught him on the side of the head, just back of the ear. Another one, back of the ear, by Dokes. But Weaver is looking at Dokes, leaning against the ropes, covering, making an effort to defend himself, seemingly aware of what's going on. There is a left hook to the side of the head, and here the referee, Joey Curtis, steps in, separates the fighters, doesn't look at Weaver, raises Dokes' hand in victory. And immediately after the fight, I talked with a number of people involved, including the referee, Joey Curtis. We'll have that in a moment. It's bound to be
Yeah, this was good, man. This was good. Check us out.
Joey Curtis. Joey, why did you stop it?
After he went down on the first knockdown, I gave him the count of 8. I looked into his eyes. He responded just a little bit, not the way I really wanted, but I figured I'd give him another chance. And the second time, he was taking very, very bad punches to the head and to the body. That's when I decided I wasn't going to have another Dukem Sim on my hands.
So you felt the man was, in effect, defenseless?
Yes, he was. Yes, he was. I thought it was a very, very good fight up to the time that he kept on punching at him. And when he couldn't respond to me after that first knockdown, that's why, again, I let him continue with just a little bit longer. And when I saw he was taking more punches, I thought I would stop it.
Joey, I've got to ask this. After the tragedy involving the Korean fighter, were you under orders from the WBA, from the Nevada Commission, from anybody to be a little quicker about stepping in?
No, they didn't give me any orders at all, except the fact is to watch the fight closely. And if I thought that the fighter wasn't responding with any punches or anything, that's when I decided that I would stop the fight.
Okay, Joey, thank you. Now, Mike Weaver, his side of it. You appeared enraged when it was called. Michael, were you hurt?
No, I was not hurt. Those come with a good left hook. And naturally dropped me down, but I got up immediately. I wasn't hurt. I really don't know why the referee stopped the fight. I really don't. I mean, I was not hurt a bit. I really don't know why they did it.
He says that you did not respond as much as he would have wanted you to after the knockdown.
Well, how much he wanted me to respond? He hit me with a good left hook. He knocked me down, and what else can I do? I mean, I was throwing punches. I mean, it's nothing but a sit-up.
This is the championship of the world. I know that they're having lots of controversy, and I feel like I know when the fight should be stopped. I would have stopped it myself if I thought he'd been in trouble. I always have, but he wasn't in that kind of trouble. They should have let the fight continue. And I'm definitely going to I've already protested it, and I want to hear in on it right away. Okay. Before Dokes fight anybody else, I want to hear in on this.
He was taking blows. He didn't offer no type of offense. So, it wasn't up to me. I'm just a fighter.
Michael, I've known you since you were a teenager in the amateur boxing. You always did like to start fast. I have never seen you start faster than you did in this fight.
Well, that's one of my greatest attributes is my speed, along with developing and cultivating my power at this point. So, to me, I seen that he was cold. He wasn't sweltering at all. He didn't look like he was lively or frisky at this point. So I thought I'd jump right on him.
A reaction now from Mr. Harold Buck, the Chief Inspector of the Nevada Athletic Commission. Your comment on the stoppage of the fight.
Keith, the only thing that I would have to say is that sitting at ringside, you don't have as good a view of the fight as the referee. And at his discretion, he can make the decision to stop the fight, feeling that a fighter is in trouble.
Now a word with the ring physician assigned by the Nevada Athletic Commission and a man who has seen goodness knows how many fights, championship as well as otherwise, Dr. Donald Romeo. Your reaction?
My reaction is the fight was stopped too soon.
You had no access to the fighter, did you? You did not take a look at him?
I did not.
Should you not have been called for a consultation?
I would have certainly thought that would have been the proper thing to do.
From your position on that side of the ring where Mike Weaver went down, did he appear hurt to you?
He did not.
The referee, Joey Curtis, said that he took 4 hard right hands to the head, and that was why he stepped in.
Those I saw, but if you have seen Mike Weaver fight before, you'll know that he is a very slow starter, Keith. I have seen him personally take quite a few punches from Coetzee, knocked him out with one punch 3 rounds later after taking 9 rounds of a pretty good pummeling. I have seen him, and you saw him too. I saw this on television in Knoxville, where Tate had the fight won, 15th round, 1 punch, Mike took him out. Mike is a slow starter, and I definitely think the fight was stopped too soon. Now, I must admit, of course, with all the controversy which has happened lately in the fight game, that I can give the referee a plus on that. But by the same token, this was a championship fight, and I just feel it was stopped too soon.
Okay, Donald, thank you very much.
My pleasure, Keith.
Well, that's a look at it, and those are the opinions of those directly involved in the WBA heavyweight championship fight. From where I was sitting, it appeared the stoppage might have come prematurely. This is Keith Jackson in Las Vegas.
There we go. There we go. I had my mic plugged up there so I wouldn't have the feedback. Technique, man. Thank you for coming by here. Wingstar, my sister. Salute, man. Peace, man. Thank you so much for classing this joint up, man. But this is Mike Weaver, man. This was the hard luck career of his, and that decision wasn't changed. But what they did was they ordered an immediate rematch, and he had the rematch with Michael Dokes 5 months later, out in Las Vegas, and it was a draw. And Mike Weaver won the fight. It was a close fight. Mike Weaver, I thought, had dominated. Larry Hassan had it scored a draw, as did Harold Letterman. They both scored a draw. Gerrie Roth scored it for Mike Weaver, but that didn't change the fact that it was a majority draw, and Michael Dokes retained the title. And once again, Mike Weaver's relegated to the back of the pack. He was pretty much kind of looked on as an opponent after that. He did go back to California and fought once another match with Stan Ward. This time he knocks out Stan Ward, and we didn't really see much of Mike Weaver. But then when Pinklin Thomas won the heavyweight championship of the world way back in 1985, Mike Weaver was brought out as an opponent for Pinklin Thomas, and it was a pretty good showing too, man. Mike Weaver did pretty well, but he got knocked out. He got knocked out in the 6th round, and we kind of thought that was it for Mike Weaver, and he was brought in as an opponent for Carl the Truth Williams. I don't know if you remember Carl the Truth Williams. He's a heavyweight. He had just gone 15 tough rounds with Larry Holmes. And this was on a fight that was featuring Mike Tyson's national television debut on ABC's Wide World of Sports. And Mike Tyson fought Jesse Ferguson. That was the famous quote where, "I'm going to knock his nose through his brain." I don't know if you remember that one, but that was one of Mike's famous ones. Let me see if I can find this fight with Carl Williams. Okay. Yeah, man. Hold it right up. Beautiful, man. Vintage boxing is such a cool dude, man. He allows me to show these fights without getting copyright strike. And it just helps, man, because a picture is worth 1,000 words. And I remember this fight, man. This was in 1986. My brother passed away since then, but he was in the hospital, and I went up to visit him. And we couldn't stay long. He was in the sterile room. We had to wear the white suits, the masks, and everything. His immune system was real low, but he was a boxing fan, and he had a little TV in there, and he was looking forward to the fight. And I said, Billy, I'm gonna catch you at home, and I'll be thinking about you during this. But Mike Tyson was the main event. Let me get down here and turn my tunes on. I can't. Gotta have that music going in the background. Where are we? Here we are. Get back on that blues. Back on the blues train. But yeah, I mean, this was a Saturday afternoon, ABC's Wide World of Sports, and on the undercard, Carl the Truth Williams is coming back, man. Carl's got that one loss to Larry Holmes on his record. It's 17-1. And Mike Weaver, because of the name, he's brought in to enhance Carl the Truth Williams. And let's take a look and see what Mike Weaver does. Let me use my my technical prowess over here to get this up on the stage.
And now we bring it from.
And 33-year-old Mike Weaver and 26-year-old Carl the Truth Williams. And like I stated earlier, Williams is coming off the defeat to Larry Holmes. He's got another victory under his belt, but Mike Weaver is looked on as a washed-up opponent with a name. And they're in upstate New York. They're at the Rensselaer Polytech Institute in Troy, New York, Mike Tyson's backyard. And Weaver, man, don't underestimate Mike Weaver. And Carl the Truth wants to go out there and make short work out of Mike Weaver. Carl the Truth has got an amazing right hand. But Mike Weaver never lost that left hook. He was brought in there to lose, and it looked like a boom, but coming back with those body shots. Carl the Truth would eventually go on to fight Mike Tyson in a losing effort. I'm surprised Weaver never got in there with Mike Tyson. Maybe they knew better. Tony Perez, man, classic referee, old school referee. Weaver, man, with those left hooks, working that body, uppercuts, the short punches, man. Those are the most effective ones, man. The punches that only travel 6, 7, 8 inches, but they got the leverage behind them. And once again, this is what Weaver has. Boom! Look at that left hook. Just snaps it out there, using that cross arm defense. And Carl the Truth, man, devastating jab. He's got an amazing reach. But Weaver's the pit bull in here. Boom, nice right hand by Mike Weaver. And Carl the Truth is holding on. Carl doesn't realize he's in there with a monster. And like I said earlier, Mike Weaver, probably one of the greatest heavyweights in the 80s. He was a hard luck kind of a guy. He fought anybody. He didn't get the breaks. He didn't have the money behind him. But man, he was just a dog. He had the talent. He had the power. And he's going to show it here. You watch him against Carl the Truth Williams. Carl with his nice combinations. And that's the Carl the Truth Williams that gave Larry Holmes fits. But that's not the kind of fight that Mike Weaver wants. Mike wants to get it on the inside. He wants to bring it in the phone booth. As we honor this cat on his birthday, on his 73rd birthday. 2 years older than me. I was always a fan of his because we were in the same age bracket. And I always said, man, if I ever get in the ring, I gotta get in the ring with somebody like that. Man, we even got an 80s commercial in here, Selsun Blue. I had to buy that for my dog when my dog had the skin problem. The vet told me to bathe him in Selsun Blue, and it didn't do any good. I think the same bottle is still in the bathroom. This was years ago, but here we go, man. The start of the second round. And Carl's coming out there. To put a hurt on Mike Weaver. Throwing some beautiful combinations. Mike Weaver brought in as an opponent, brought in to lose. They didn't tell Mike Weaver that, though. Let's see, this was February. I can remember the day, and I guess it was a warm February day. But Mike Weaver, moving forward, devastating left hook puncher, working that body, letting Carl the Truth know what's going on. This is a 10-round fight too, man. This was the comeback of Carl the Truth Williams. Mike Weaver downstairs and upstairs, those short damaging punches. Halfway through the second round, on the birthday of Hercules Mike Weaver, Carl hurts him. Carl moving in there did some damage. Boom! The left hook. Ay, 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 ay. That's that devastating Mike Weaver left hook. And he's up, but he doesn't know where he is. Is he going to continue? How many fingers do I have up? 2. Okay, let's go. Boom. One more. Carl's holding on for dear life. Gets tagged with another left hook. Going to a neutral corner. Referee's counting. Carl doesn't know where he is. I think the referee's going to stop this fight immediately. Is he going to let him go on? Let it go on? Is he the masochist? Yes, he is. Yeah, he's not going to let it go on. He's going to jump in there. Oh, is this the 3 knockdown rule? Yeah, I guess it's the 3 knockdown rule. The fight's over. And that's it, man. Once again, Mike Weaver, look at how happy that man is. He's dancing around that ring. But once again, man, Mike Weaver's in the spotlight. On his birthday on his birthday today. This fight wasn't on his birthday, but man, too bad it wasn't. But you know, his career went on after that. He fought. They gave him a fight with James Bone Crusher Smith, and he got knocked out in the first round, and that was on HBO. And man, that was a bummer. He also got knocked out by Razor Ruddock. Razor Ruddock, we had him on the. No, I'm sorry, he lost a split decision to Razor Ruddock in a close fight. Damn, my mind isn't quite what it was. But he went on and he got beat by up and coming James Pritchard, who was featured in the magazines. Johnny Duploy from South Africa. He went down to South Africa. He beat Johnny Duploy. Went down again and got knocked out. His career was pretty much on the skids after that. He took on also runs. He took on Bone Crusher Smith again. He lost a unanimous decision this time. Was thrown in the ring against Lennox Lewis, an up-and-coming 15-0 Lennox Lewis, knocked out in the 6th round. Beat Burt Cooper. Always exciting Burt Cooper, keeping his name in the game. I mean, you know, this is the way he made his living. There's no retirement in boxing. He ends up getting, you know, he's sticking around. He's sticking around for years after he should. He retired in 1998 after he lost to Melvin Foster. But then Larry Holmes calls him up 20 years after the fact, and he says, "Mike, why don't you come and fight me? Make some money. Get off the couch." And it was one of Larry's last fights. I think Butterbean was Larry's last fight. This was the second to the last fight. But that was it, man. That was the career of Mike Hercules Weaver. And I mean, this was a fighter who brought us great action. He was a Marine Corps, fought in Vietnam. Always put on a great show. He was a perennial contender, won the World Heavyweight Championship, got ripped off on a decision with Dokes. But anyway, man, 73 years old today, Mike Hercules Weaver. Let's do one more toke for Mike Weaver. I hope you got something out of that great career, man, because he definitely paid his dues in boxing. He's still with us. I'd love to talk to him one of these days. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and I've sent a few private messages. He's gotten back to me, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And cheers, Hercules, Mike Weaver. Bruce Gas, boxing, jazz, and more. Closing it down. Gotta go with my wife tomorrow for a doctor's appointment to check out her lungs after the surgery she had last November, make sure everything's good. And aside from that, I'll be on here on Saturday. Make sure you come around, man. If you want to stop in, say hi for the fight call. We're gonna have a great card, man. Tank Davis and Frank Martin and Vosdick and Benavides on the undercard. I mean, the whole card is stacked. Come and join me, please. It's going to be a good time. But aside from that, I'm out of here.
Shout out Bruce Gas, aka Toka 2. You know I had to drop a trap for my boy.
See ya.
Where you at?
Yeah, I've been here harassing boys out here telling fables. I'm the hardest young nigga, I ain't signed to no label. Hey, Bruce Gas putting them fights on the table. Calling that boxer since Kane versus Abel. Smoking so much gas, you would think that shit was fatal. On the people's champion like Muhammad Ali. Shout out Bruce Gas, one day we gon' meet. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, we gon' smoke hella weed. Yeah, we gon' blow it down, take a hit out the Toka 2. Slipping hella shots, feel like Tyson with the people. Little Glock on my side, but it hit just like Isaac Cruz. Shout out man, Chad, real shit, that's my fucking dude. We always cooking on the panel. Strapped to my side, I ain't talking about no sandal. Bruce passed me the blunt, I'ma light it like a candle. Ayy, non-stop bars, man, I always spit flames. Feel like Bruce Gas always got a different strain. Bitch, you ain't like me, you can never feel my pain. You win and you lose, well, this a fight game. Don't beef on the net and the shit won't change. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the game. Said that on the stream, gotta do it for the chat. I ain't undisputed. Yeah, hold on, I ain't undisputed, but I want all the straps.